Hello, hello, welcome back to another episode of Vanilla Minecraft Let's Play. We are in creative mode because we are actually in the 15W45A snapshot, getting a little bit of FPS issues here and there, but this is a freshly generated world. Some of the chunks around here probably haven't been loaded, and since I am moving around, they're probably generating on the fly as I'm trying to record here. Wanted to go over some of the changes so that 1.9 has thus far been bringing out. As far as I'm aware, they're stopping on new features and are working on fixing bugs, though they might have another feature or two up their sleeve. Whoa. Yeah, they're also working on optimizations and whatnot. So there's some new splash text in Minecraft. You know the text that you see at the beginning when you first load it up underneath Minecraft? Yeah, there's some new splash text. I don't really pay attention to that too much. As far as I'm aware, there's also nothing more, or like any interesting splash text I would recommend to look out for. A big change, though, is subtitles, which where the hell is that? Ah, there they are. So under the music and sounds, you can actually show subtitles. You can actually see on the bottom right now that there are footstep sounds and a general location of where they are. Like if I was to turn to the right here, I can see the arrow turn to the right. I'm sorry, if I turn to the left. Whatnot, block broken. The darker that text gets, the older it is. You can always have your footsteps though, which is kind of weird. And they always blink back and forth. It's weird. At least I think that's how that works. I haven't done 100% testing with it, but it seems like the further away you get from it, it doesn't really matter. It still shows the subtitles. Like it matters on the age of the sound than anything. It's like the timeout for removing it. Mobs do have individualized subtitles, just like the sheeps. The left and right carrots are for, or the less than greater than sign, are for the location. This is very helpful for people that are deaf or hard of hearing. Personally, or just for those that actually can hear properly and don't want to get snuck up on with a creeper, because it will say creeper hissing. And if you don't see him anywhere in your screen view, you just start running straight. Might help in those kind of cases too. Would actually help underground as well, because you would be able to hear zombies and whatnot walking, and you can see the general direction that they're going. Like I hear the block broken sound, which I'm going to assume is one of these sheep eating grass, but I would be able to roughly pinpoint where that sound's coming from by which direction I'm listening in on with the camera here. The world display will also now show what version was played in last. So, like, this world, since it was played in 15W45A, if I was to go back to a previous snapshot to 32B or afterwards, I believe. Actually, wait, I think it's after 32B. It'll show that, hey, this was played in whatever snapshot version, blah, blah, blah. If it was before this was introduced, it will say unknown because, this information wasn't tracked previously. There's also a thumbnail with each world save as well, kind of allowing you to have a quick identifier for it. Personally, I'm not a fan of the thumbnails. It's a bit of an extra hard drive cost at a minimal increase in aesthetics, in my opinion. So I'm not the biggest fan of it. Another option is people that are left-handed. I am not. Gets to the option of having a main hand to be on the left. So yeah. You have your main hand behind the left, and your less main hand, or dominant hand if you so choose, on the right. I prefer mine on the right. I am used to it, and that was under skin customization, which I need to remember about. There are some new attributes to items as well. These probably won't be seen by the general users, since these are generally internal, and map makers might be able to take advantage of them. But attack speed, so you can modify the attack speed of items, because that was a change in Minecraft that we'll get to a bit later on. There's also an armor one, which you can kind of see on these. Like it says, when on head, plus 2 armor, when on body, plus 6 armor. And these are some of the new attributes and setups with that, allowing you to technically have iron boots that give armor equivalent to diamond boots, and vice versa. It's a lot more better for map makers and the like to create custom loot without having to worry about it. And speaking of custom loot, these sheep For example, normally they drop a piece of wool, respective of their sheep color, as well as mutton now. Custom loot tables have been implemented and worked on. So if you were to kill a sheep, you could have an entire custom loot table in a custom map. Have them drop literally anything you want. You can have sheep drop diamonds at a 1% chance if you so desire. It is now an option. There's also luck, which so far at the moment modifies fishing only. The luck attribute allows you to modify those loot tables, so those adventure maps that rely heavily on getting a piece of loot or grinding could technically give the player in the future a piece of armor or a weapon that gives like 100 luck or something. And that'll increase the chances for getting particular loot items from loot tables. New statistics are kept as well, which honestly I don't ever hardly look at these. They are sleep bed time, slept in bed time. I don't actually know what the hell it's called. The technical name for it is sleep in bed. Oh, here it is. Time slept in a bed, 0. So it's because it's a new world. You can see the amount of sneak time in seconds. Initially, probably goes up to minutes and days and whatnot. The number of items picked up, which don't know where that is in this list. As well as the items dropped. I see the items dropped here, but not the items picked up. Maybe I'm just missing it. I could just be missing it. But those are new statistics that were added. There is a new shortcut as well. It's F3N. You can toggle between creative mode and spectator mode, and you can see that in chat here. This only works if you are in either of them, and the player needs to be a server operator in the event of servers. So if you're not an operator, but you are in creative mode or spectator mode, you won't be able to freely switch between them unless you have an opt on that server. Cheats also need to be enabled in the case of single player. There's some new particles and new sounds, but I'm not worried about them. There's a few new items, one of them called the Elytra, which allows you to transport very nicely across the world. During some testing, I found about 14 to 1800 blocks, depending on loading speeds for the world, because you can get stuck. At the build limit of 255, which we can get there eventually by slowly hovering on up. There's also dual building now, which isn't entirely as awesome as it sounds in my opinion. Dual building will allow you to... Oh, by the way, here are the wings and example of this. So essentially you can kind of fly down, kind of like Mario Cape. Gain some speed, you can travel. The 1500, by the way, I'm sorry, the 14 to 1800 blocks was looking directly straight, so that facing west line in the F3 menu, that last bit is a 0, essentially. But yeah, this allows you to travel pretty far from build limit. Alrighty, so down we go. Going to get back in first person view. Dual wielding, yeah, so there's a shield slot here. You can, say, have 2 swords equipped, but in this particular case, only one of them is really going to work. You can't block with the sword anymore. That's another change they've done. You can attack with your left one, or whatever you have in your main hand. Your offhand, you can't do anything with. You can, though, use bows and, well, not arrows. Well, you can use arrows, but not in this particular sense. You can use a bow in your offhand and a sword in your main one. You can also use a sword or a pickaxe or whatnot and be able to place torches down freely. Like, it's not a problem. You can place down torches, you can fight at the same time. This will probably be more useful in CTM maps when you need to be pressing forward and lighting things up at the same time and don't really need to block. This said, bows do have a preference, by the way. Bows, the arrows are picked from the offhand slot first, so you could have a stack of particular arrows in the offhand, and I'll prefer to pick them over anything else you may have in your inventory. Other than that, the arrow that is in the lowest numbered slot, which if I'm not mistaken is this bottom left one and goes to the top right, will get used. And then I think it'll be your armor slots, and yeah, it'll be your armor slots. If you somehow manage to get arrows equipped as armor, good for you, first off. But that'll be one of the last spots the bow looks for arrows, as far as I'm aware, through what it does. Yeah, so only the main hand can be used for physical attacks and mining and whatnot. There is a new combat mechanic as well. And I don't know why I looked up the word attack when I wanted to look up the word sword. Now, these swords, they offer different attack speeds, as you can see here, as well as attack damage, and these are all the basic one. So the wooden sword has 4, the iron has 6, the gold has 4 as well, so it's equivalent to the wood. The stone has 5, and the diamond has 7. All these have the same attack speed, which means when I go ahead and click once, I have to wait a certain amount of time until the sword is completely raised. You can see this at the bottom right, to the right of my hotbar there. When that meter is full, you can swing again for 100% damage. Anything less than that, you'll be doing reduced damage. You can also still crit in the game. Let me demonstrate that on these pigs. So you can jump down still and crit the pigs. You can still kind of run and do it. As far as I'm aware, you can't sprint and crit anymore. Yeah, you see that? I was sprinting, it didn't work. Yeah, so you can't sprint and crit anymore, so that's a thing. That status effect can also be modified on over to the crosshair, if you so desire. And by the way, that was under video settings, attack indicator. So you can kind of see that underneath that, where it's a sword icon, kind of goes from left to right. You can see it charging up every time I swing. So if you want it there instead, I personally like it next to the hotbar. But I also like the visual indication of the actual item being all the way up instead. If you are trying to attack a block, by the way, the meter can reset if you're using a pickaxe or a shovel and whatnot, but it doesn't matter. It does not affect the breaking rates, so don't worry about that. There's also some new status effects that you can receive. Oh, by the way, axes. I should definitely mention about this since this is part of the combat portion. There are shields. If you equip a shield, you can go ahead and block with it. This blocks all incoming damage for the duration of the shield that you have, because the durability is not as high as it probably could be. As far as where you can get unbreaking on the shield, the axe can break through a shield and still deal damage, but the attack speed of the axe is only 1 compared to the 1.6 of the sword, but the damage is indeed higher, so you can deal a bit more damage. You can actually crit strike a lot of mobs now with the axe. You just can't do it fast as you could with the sword previously. Yeah. So I like this change. I might actually end up using the axe as a main weapon for the most part, because this diamond sword, or the sword in general, if you're standing still and you actually can hit something, you'll see a bit of a particle effect. And pig, where'd you go? Rabbit, you'll work just fine. See that little swipe animation that you saw? If there were multiple monsters or enemies around me, or entities, that little swipe animation, they will get pushed back. There is no damage dealt, but it's kind of like a knockback cleave ability, if you will. So that is an option. The shields, yeah, can even block arrows. Do keep in mind the blocking does seem to be directional, so if you get attacked from behind or from the side, you will still take full damage as though you're not blocking, so do keep that in mind. And so far, I have liked the combat changes. The shield, though, there definitely needs to be multiple tiers of the shield. Like, right now, it's just made of planks and an iron ingot. You can put a banner on those shields as well, and actually get a bit of design on them if you so desire, but considering how fast they can break, I'm not really sure if that's really desirable, especially considering the shield now consumes the banner in the process. And that was a recent change in one of the snapshots. Did I just hear a zombie, by the way? Yeah, I just heard a zombie groan. Yeah. And this is what I was talking about actually with that. You can kind of use this to track where caves are. Like I just found him because of the subtitles. I know he's behind me. Okay. Yeah, good demonstration of that. Good demonstration of that. Is there anything else I need to talk about? Oh, there are additional arrows as well. You get spectral arrows, which will allow you to cause a new status effect to happen on entities, which is called glowing. I could have shot that zombie, I suppose, but no. Actually, no. Let's go ahead and do it. Yeah, he's not glowing. You can kind of see him through the terrain and whatnot. So you'd be able to track mobs that way. So, like, if I hit the skeleton and head back off, I'd be able to see where he was at all times for 30 seconds, I believe. Might be 30 seconds. I actually don't know how long the arrow lasts. You can also give it to yourself through the effect command if you so desire, but there's no other way to get the glowing effect at this time. There's also a levitation effect, which kind of forces you to float up in the air. But we'll get to that in a bit, and maybe another episode. I don't know. Back to the arrows, though. There are also these potion arrows. You get night vision, swiftness, fire resistance, leaping, visibility, etc. Whatever you hit with these potion arrows, they will get the effect. And in order to craft those, you actually have to defeat the Ender Dragon. And collect a Dragon's Breath by using a empty bottle on a breath attack that she does. And you'll be able to correct this Dragon's Breath, and you'll be able to create a Lingering Potion. So these Lingering Potions, if you throw them, creates a field effect, and they'll last for so long. If you walk through it, you'll get the status effect, and this can apply up to 3 entities before completely disappearing as a Lingering Potion. And as you can see, I have fire resistance for 1:55 now, and that just got reset each time I had stepped in that field. But by using this and shooting an arrow through it, you can get the potion-tipped arrow of that. It does not work with spectral arrows, has to be regular arrows. Let's see. There are some new enchantments as well. Let me go ahead and get those up and going here. These are treasure enchantments only, which means they can only be found from chest loot, fishing, or trading for enchanted books, so villager trading. One of them is called Mending. Mending allows you to repair the item using XP you gained. If it's being worn as armor or in the offhand slot or your main hand, I believe whatever XP you have will divide evenly across all them, or it'll pick the lowest slot number first. I don't remember which are the two. It's one of those two. But like, say if I was to kill this rabbit and the boots were damaged, hitting him with it, getting and picking up the XP orbs, will repair the item. That is what mending is for. Another enchantment which is wonderful is called Frostwalker. There are 2 tiers of Frostwalker. The first one does a small area around you, but you can actually turn water to quote-unquote ice. This ice is actually called Frosted Ice, as you can see on the top right here. It says Minecraft Frosted Ice Age 0. This does break over time, so you do have to keep walking on the water in order for you to stay afloat. If you were to stand still, you would actually fall through the water eventually when the ice broke. Number 2 allows you to create a bigger platform than rank 1, but rank 2 is the highest natural rank you can get of it in survival. Let's see, there are some new commands as well, but I'm not going to go over them because that's a lot. Oh, as you can see, I just fell through the water. Oh, by the way, if you're in creative mode and you're trying to do this over the water, you actually have to be standing on a solid block like this here. This was actually counting me on a solid block, so the water source below it became frozen. But just flying above it will not work. You actually have to come into it from a solid source, and because these frozen ice blocks are classified as solid, you can keep doing it. That's why this whole thing works. But yeah, I have been talking a lot and pretty quickly, haven't I? There's been some changes to the world generation as well. Most of it has happened to the end, so let's see. Can we set block down below me the end portal? Okay, into the end we go. Spawn on the normal obsidian platform, and we have to fight the Ender Dragon. Essentially. Let's go ahead and get a bow really quick. And let's see, harming, arrows of harming 2. Let's go ahead and enchant this really quick. Power 5, and that'll work. So some of the changes that happen to the Ender Dragon fight is that she will go to the middle of the portal, where the portal always spawns in the middle of this platform. It's always inactive to begin with, and you do not see the Ender Dragon egg initially. She will fly around doing some new attacks against you. Let me actually get some diamond armor on, and I can better show this to you. Oh, the other 3 pieces are missing anyway. Alright, so here we are. Where'd you go? Hit you once. You will still recover from... Oh. What I forgot to do. Enchant this with infinity. Forgot to do that. And the infinity enchantment does indeed work with these arrows, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, it still works with these. So you still have to destroy the pillars, and you may notice that some of these are caged. So you actually have to build up there, and hello, she just charged me once. So that's a bit of annoying. Another thing I forgot to do was enchant this with Unbreaking, and you cannot enchant something with Unbreaking and Mending together normally. It's a conflict. That might have been changed recently, because I don't think I recall being able to do it with the commands I think before. Okay, well, let's go ahead and kill her off really quick. I'm about to die here. Let's get the mode really quick while I get myself a bow that is overpowered as hell. Let's see. What ID is it? I think it's 34. 4 power. Let me quickly look. It's not 34, it's 48. It was 14 off. Let's do level 255, and that should be good. This should give me an Unbreaking bow with 255 power level. Alright. Anyone else I forgot to get myself on that is the Infinity Enchant, which is 51, just needs to be level 1. Okay. Let's go ahead and get rid of these Endermen as well. Okay, so we got a bow with a super ridiculous amount of power on it, and it's Unbreaking with infinity. So I'm going to go ahead and keep shooting at her. I'm trying to get her to do some of her other attacks. Oh, that is one right there. Ow. That was actually the fireball attack I was going to show, and then suddenly fireball in front of my face. That is the same same fireball texture as one used by gas and the fire charge, and where the hell was I? There I was. And it does leave this field behind. Let's see. If we use a glass bottle on that, we should be able to do the things we need. Let's see. Yeah. So right clicking on this kind of attack allows you to get the Dragon's Breath, as I mentioned before. And that is a potion ingredient. Now if I can actually avoid getting hit by her from now on and actually kill her off. There's another thing that she does. The lower HP she has, the more protective she becomes of this portal that is inactive. I'm leaving, by the way, those... So that is the fire breath attack that I was going to show you, and how you can get a bunch of Dragon's Breath right away. When she's in the middle like this state, not shoot. You have to use melee attacks. You have to use melee attacks, and these enemies need to go away. Yeah, there's just no way for her to die in this particular state. When she does start to fly away, though, you can kill her again with another desire, but she does sit there for quite a bit of time. I need to deal quite a bit of damage with a sword if you so desire. The animation is the same, I believe, though. That's I'm still trying to get healed from the tower end crystal. The end crystal can be crafted now, though the appearance of it looks different from a player. But it serves as the means of respawning the Ender Dragon, and by the way, once she's dead, the portal comes back and the Ender Dragon egg is still there. Another thing that happens is these show up, one of them does anyway, and if you take an Ender Pearl and throw it through here, through the magic of it, you'll be teleported to the outskirts, and you can see this beam with it. It's pretty cool. This is something new. These are the End Islands outside of the main platform where you fight the Ender Dragon. And do remember where this is, because it's the only way back unless you want to bridge out about 1,000 or so blocks, and that's a pain. These are chorus plants. These are the new plants that are generating in the end, along with these islands out in the middle. These flowers you actually have to break off by hand manually at the top in order to get their seed, in order to replant these plants. It's the only way to do it. Otherwise, breaking the bottom block, which I can demonstrate here, we'll break everything in that plant, and we'll drop these chorus fruits. Putting them in a smelter gives you these popped chorus fruits, and you can make purple blocks with those, which looks interesting, in my opinion. But we'll get to that in a bit, in a moment. As I'm walking around, or flying around here, rather, there is another thing, not there are another thing, that doesn't make much sense grammatically. There is another thing in the end that is generated, and that is the End City. Though I kind of call it more like an End Fortress, in my opinion, of the design. It actually reminds me of the Twilight Forest Lich Tower, in its generation and overall concept. And I'm trying to find one right now. There's also an End ship that can spawn near these things. The End City is essentially a structure. Oh, here's one. Is essentially a structure only found at the end, and ever only in the end. And by the way, for those that may have played Twilight Forest, the mod, you can probably see why I called this more of a Twitch, a Lich Tower, not a Twitch Tower. What brain? There's a new block as well with these. So you can see the purple blocks, the Endstone brick, which is a new thing. It's a 2x2 of the Endstone. You can also see the stained glass in here that spawns with it. These end rods are a light source, just like anything else. They can actually be placed on each other. They can even be placed upside down. Oh, by the way, those anything putting next to those blocks will break it, by the way. So do be careful of that. Yeah, these are also craftable using popped chorus fruit and blaze rods. If I remember correctly in the recipe, crafts 4, and it's just like a normal torch with the blaze rod on top and the popped chorus fruit on the bottom. Kind of like how that looks. These enemies here are shulkers. These guys are the ones that give you the other levitation effect that I was mentioning. Let me actually just give it to myself right now, because I don't feel like getting hit right now. So I was given levitation for 100 seconds. This is going to cause me to float up in the air. One thing you do is eat these chorus fruits that you can get from these, and you will actually teleport to the ground. And that is more of the projectiles that the shulkers do. They are homing, so it's kind of hard to get by them. But if you're in full diamond gear like I am, it actually won't hurt too much. Dink. Yeah, they do have a heart. This is a good way to get up to the top if you need to, because inside it is actually fairly hard to deal with. Just going to clear out my effects. Oh, Actually, with that effect, notice up here on the top right, you can actually see the icon of the effect now. That is new. You got a line for buffs and a line for debuffs. The further up in the right-hand corner is a line for buffs, and the one below that is debuff. So the levitation is classified as a debuff, apparently. But this is what the inside of one of these looks like. A bit of a parkour, a bit of a problem to get up here if you don't have any blocks to stack with. But these places do offer quite a bit of good loot. There are enchanted iron stuff here, as well as diamond gear. This one just happens to have an Unbreaking 3 diamond sword in it, which is very awesome to find for free if you could find one of these places. This iron gear is also pretty awesome. You can also find beetroot, which is a new plant added for 1.9. Nope, trying to get up here. Let's see, anything else around here I probably want to show off. These shulkers also, and there is. These shulkers, you cannot kill them when they have their thing closed. As far as I'm aware, with arrows, you actually have to wait for them to have their thing open. You might be able to do melee damage. I haven't done much testing with those guys, because there hasn't really been a need for that. During Mondays, recently been live streaming with Tate Fox on Snapshot server that we have, just checking out things and whatnot, and that's why I'm able to kind of go through this stuff pretty fast and kind of know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I don't know everything. And by the way, this is the end ship. Over here, they spawn with shulkers on them. The end rods kind of looks like a face from the side. I know a lot of people have noticed it. I can't unsee it. This is where you get those wings. You can also find a brewing stand with 2 potions of healing. And another thing they did with brewing, by the way, is it requires blaze powder now to actually fuel. You can go for 30 times through that before you need to add another piece of blaze powder. So you get quite a few operations of brewing before you have to worry about that. But the elytra are right here in this item frame. They always spawn in these ships, and you can also find more gear in here, like building it in saddles, emeralds, whatnot. Wow. Actually, these pair of diamond boots had feather falling 4 and unbreaking 3. That is pretty good gear just to find in a chest in the, well, the end, but I was going to say world. At the front of these ships, you can actually find a new head, if I can grab it. It is the dragon head. Doesn't really do much, does it? Well, be mistaken. When I go ahead and give it a redstone signal, it will move its mouth. You can actually put it on your head as well. And I'm an ender dragon. When you move, it will also move its mouth as well. So, yeah. There's another thing I want to show off, but I haven't actually seen it myself, and that was a recent thing. There are igloos in the world now as well. Ooh. I don't know where the hell I was. Let's go ahead and teleport myself to 0,000. That should be where this portal is. Yeah, it is. Okay, good. Go through the end credits again if you so desire. Back at natural spawn. There are igloos, and I'm gonna have to cut here for a moment to let my mouth rest for a moment because of how long I've been talking non-stop for so long at this point, and so I can actually find an igloo and kind of bring my thoughts back together and actually look at some of the other changes that I may have forgotten to go over or whatnot. By the way, expect a long video this time, and a break from our regular scheduled vanilla Minecraft to go over all these changes. Yeah, anywho, give me a moment. Alrighty, there's just a few more things I want to go over. We decided to create a new world entirely made of the Ice Plains biome. The other biome you can get for igloos was... Ooh, Ice Field, I think it was called. Give me a moment. Scrolling on up, trying to find out before too much time goes by. Ice Plains and Cold Taigas, but not the Hills variant. Can give you igloos, and that's one over there. But before that, shovels allow you to create this new block. It's a grass path block. It is 15/16 of a block high. It does not cause monsters to spawn on it because apparently it's not classified as a full block and not solid. For mob spawns to happen on it, and you do fall down that 16th level block on it. But right-clicking on the grass with a shovel will allow you to do this. You cannot you cannot click on a grass block that has snow layer on it, but yeah, you can create a grass path out of it. It looks decent until you start getting large areas of it, in my opinion. Like, this is way too big. That looks horrible. This might be not too bad for a pathway for a road, a dirt road, but maybe not a large dirt road. Anywho, that does take up durability on the shovel, by the way. But yeah. Here's an igloo. Contains 9 white carpet, 3 light gray carpet, a furnace, a redstone torch, a crafting bench, and a bed. There's also occasionally a stone brick basement, but apparently this one did not spawn with it. Let's see if we can find another one really quick that actually contains the basement. Basement. Igloo? Igloo. Find an igloo. Anyone? Anywhere? No? Yes? No? Apparently not. The igloos that have basements do contain some additional blocks and I think a couple chests. Oh, here's another igloo. The loot chests in the igloos are actually pretty awesome. You can find one with a freaking basement. If you can find one with a basement, congratulations, you have won the lottery. At this point, there's not. Wow. I thought I would have found one by now with the basement. These things are actually pretty far apart, even for a super flat world that contains nothing but the biome type for them to spawn in, with no other obstructions anywhere. Another igloo over here. Yeah, anywho. The igloos that actually have a stone brick basement, which this one does not. Wow, I want to find one with a stone brick basement at this moment. You know what? I'm gonna make another cut here. I'm gonna come back in when I find one. Alrighty, after traveling for a bit, found one that contains it. So apparently at the tip of the 3x3 of the white carpet, you can break that carpet and you'll find a ladder on down. So me breaking that middle block, the middle white one on the other ones was appropriate, so those definitely did not have anything. But yeah, stone brick pathway down to the bottom. These contain zombie villager priests, which is another change they did, by the way. Zombies that are villagers actually show the profession. You can see that in this particular case that they swap between each other. So you actually find a regular zombie villager, yes, and a regular villager, both priests. This one happens to be a particular cleric of a subtype. But yeah, you see him and you see him. You got a cauldron down here, a brewing stand with a splash potion of weakness. This whole thing is supposed to be indicative that you were supposed to use a golden apple along with the splash potion of weakness on the zombie villager in order to get the villager. That's what this entire point is for, just to describe that mechanic in the game. I don't think there is anything else here. Oh, these zombies will not despawn, by the way. These zombie villagers will not despawn at all. They are persistent in the world. Some of the silverfish can spawn in these blocks as well. Yeah, this one here. It says Minecraft Monster Egg instead of the stone brick block. So this one's actually a silverfish. So there is another location for a silverfish. Yeah, that one's also a silverfish block. So do be careful about mining out around here in case you don't want him to get up, because this one might be a silverfish block. Who knows? That one might be a silverfish block. Who knows? No one knows. Unless you press F3 and actually look. Yeah, I think that is it. No, there actually is nothing I need to mention at this point. And there are some additional settings and features and whatnot I didn't go over that have been changed at 1.9. But a lot more of it has been technical than anything else. Like, there's been a lot of changes with the debug screen, or like minor things like death messages. As you may have seen earlier with me dying to the Ender Dragon, it actually showed what I died to in my death screen rather than just chat, though it did show it in there as well. The few of the options got removed. Like the inventory got rearranged to accommodate for the shield icon location for the offhand. Resource packs got modified as well. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things. Yeah. Nothing else I can really think of at this particular time. Oh, actually, wait, there is one more. Health has been severely modified on how you regenerate it. So let's give myself instant damage for 1 second. So I just took a bit of damage, but you can see my health bar going back up pretty quickly until that last little half. Let's go ahead and hit myself twice with the instant damage here. You can see my health is down to pretty much nothing through the text there. However, if I was to give myself a piece of cooked pork chop, just one of them. When I eat this, I'm going to get saturation, and that's going to cause my health to regenerate more rapidly. It is about 4 times faster when you have a saturation or so. Yeah, health regenerates faster when saturation is not empty and the player is not hungry. So meaning I have to have full bars of food and I have to have saturation available. It's half a heart per half second versus the half a heart per 4 seconds normally. But health regeneration also increases the exhaustion faster, but not by much. I think it's like an extra fourth or so. Yeah, something like that. For those that are into hardcore, you can actually change a setting now that you can, it's not a setting. When you die in a hardcore world, you can actually go into spectator mode, so you don't actually have to delete the world immediately like you used to. You can actually go into spectator mode rather than having the world deleted immediately. The ender crystals that I was talking about, the only way to get those are from skeleton traps, and those happen from natural lightning strikes. They happen from regional difficulty. It's like 5% multiplied by the raw regional difficulty score. It has a higher chance of happening on hard. What happens with those is essentially a horse will become a trap. When they are a trap, when you get near them, it'll cause them to turn into skeleton horses and attack you. But that is the only way to get the items necessary to make the ender crystal for respawning the end dragon. I don't think there's anything else I need to go over though at this point. Yeah, I think that'll be it for now. This has been a kind of a weird Let's Play video. But I wanted to go over the 1.9 changes because I feel like it'll be out soon. Holy crap. Alright, game mode 1. You guys are no longer a problem for me. Yeah, I wanted to go over the changes because I feel like 1.9 it will be out soon, and we'll be upgrading into that when I feel it's a bit better. And I know some people are actually already playing and recording on 1.9, but I decided against it for now because of all the changes they're doing, and I don't want to mess up my world. But yeah, that'll be it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, remember to leave a like, and we'll get back to normal vanilla Minecraft in the next episode. Normal survival vanilla Minecraft, I should say, in the next episode. But until then, take it easy.